And another story that we're covering this morning is the travel ban. The U.S. Department of Justice has defended President Donald Trump's ban and urged an appeals court to reinstate it in the interest, they say, of national security. It argued it was a lawful exercise of the president's authority and not a ban on Muslims. The executive order temporarily banned entry from all refugees and visitors from 7 mainly Muslim countries.
And a hearing has been set for Tuesday on whether to back or reject the ban. Lawyers for Washington and Minnesota have argued or have urged a federal appeals court in San Francisco to maintain the temporary restraining order, which has annoyed Mr. Trump. And to discuss this issue now is Dr. Zudi Jasser, who is the founder and president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Welcome to the program. So what's your position as far as this situation is concerned? Where do you stand?
Well, thank you for having me. You know, I have family in Syria. They're in Aleppo, and there's nothing more American than welcoming refugees seeking liberty. But my position has been that the last administration really has not been vetting against Islamism. They've only been vetting against terror groups, against violent extremism, and it is well within the rights of the new president and administration to put a pause. So if it was a Muslim ban, I would be vociferously against it. But a pause that's 120 days to recalibrate, begin to have a conversation about rejecting theocrats and protecting those who seek both political or religious freedom from religious or political persecution, I think is a very American thing to do.
Okay.
And we have to be careful.
I'm a bit astonished by two things here. You have family in Syria, but you are also saying that you support President Donald Trump's decision to lock out Syrian refugees.
I have to be clear. It's not about locking them out. It's about, if you're in southern Aleppo, for example, and you have rushes of refugees coming down, you don't accept them whether they're Assadists or whether they're ISIS. You want those seeking liberty.
You do realize, though, and I defer to you on this one because, again, I recognize that you might be across this more than I am, that it is a ban on everybody coming from Syria. That includes your family.
I was very much against the indefinite ban on Syria. I hope it's just a pause. It is very, very correct for security to pause and begin to vet against theocrats.
Okay.
There's no evidence that we're currently vetting against any theocrats at all.
Okay, so let's talk about refugees. Again, I'm going to bring this to you, sir, and specifically talk about Syria and the process that they undergo before they eventually get to the United States. It is a meticulous process which involves getting their DNA, some have said, getting their fingerprints. It is a 2-year process. How much more would you like to see done for them to be allowed in?
We need to have a vet against Islamism. So if they're part of the Brotherhood, part of Hamas, part of ISIS's ideology, DNA vetting doesn't vet against ideas. America is an idea. It's not just a landmass. If people come here, we welcome them if they share our ideas for the social contract of freedom and liberty. If they're autocrats, whether they're in favor of Russian autocracy, Assadist autocracy, or theocratic Islamism, such as ISIS or the Brotherhood, I don't want them here as an American. My family would not want them here. So we need to vet, just as we did in the Cold War against communism and socialism that's incompatible with Western ideas. I hope we start to recalibrate vetting against theocrats so that we can let more of those who want freedom and liberty here.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. But one last thing. So you're comfortable that despite having family in Syria, this ban that directly affects them is in place, and you're comfortable with keeping it in place? Is that what you're saying?
No. The pause, I would be for 120 days. But if it goes beyond that and becomes a ban, I will be a vocal opponent of it, because America will lose the messaging war if we don't stay that haven of our Statue of Liberty being for freedom and liberty of all those who seek it across the planet.
I really appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much for it.